All right, I'm sure you guys watched yesterday's video. We left off on a major cliffhanger. Let me give you a little backstory. I bought this STI down in California, drove it back, went through a ton of oil, put a brand new motor in it. The motor started up, sounded absolutely phenomenal, and then it locked up. It was pretty bad. I've never ever experienced anything like that in my life. So today we need to figure out what the hell happened. First thing I'm gonna do is unplug the crank sensor and try and turn it over and see what happens. To me, it sounds like it's down at least a few, maybe 2 cylinders. Sounds like there's no compression. I am worried it's a timing related issue. I did go through and watch all of the footage from putting this timing kit on. Everything was installed correctly, everything was torqued correctly. That is the advantage of filming every little thing that I do. But it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because obviously we have a major problem here. I do find it a little bit interesting that it completely locked up on us, killed the motor, and now it turns over fine. And it doesn't sound like anything's banging around, but that's beside the point. Let's go ahead, pull the radiator, pull the timing cover, see what's going on there. If all of that checks out, then option number 2, I have a feeling it somehow is a valve related problem. Maybe it dropped a valve, maybe it lost a couple of keepers, I'm not really sure. But let's figure it out. Let's get this thing sorted. Well, we found the problem. Now I'm just trying to figure out why we have this problem, because everything seems to be in order. Intake on the driver's side, this line right here should be right here. This cam somehow became 270 degrees at a time. Everything else is fine, everything else is timed. The tensioner is perfect, it's brand new. All the pulleys are tight, they're good, everything's torqued down. You guys saw me pull this apart in real time. I didn't mess with nothing. So how does that happen when the belt's still tight? That's my question. Josh may know. Mr. Bader may know the answer.
Did you find the problem?
I did, but I don't know how it happened.
Uh-oh.
My timing belt's tight, everything's new, everything's torqued, the belt is tight, intake, driver side's off like 270 degrees all of a sudden. How is that possible with everything being tight?
If the fucking cam got hung up when it turned over, the journal was tight, the camshaft wasn't turning over smoothly, if the ADCS gear wasn't sitting in the correct pin on the camshaft and skipped over, there's a couple things.
Very interesting. Well, I'm sure I have about 1,000 bent valves. Yeah, I'm very confused, but I'll pull the lid apart more and see if the cam spins, I guess.
That sounds like not a fun project.
Yeah, very suspect. Well, we found out why it happened. Here's cam gear number 1. Cam spins nice and freely. Number 2, next one, beautiful. The cam that I jumped on, very stiff. It still spins, but obviously it's not supposed to spin that difficultly, if that's a word. So let's yank the motor and figure out why the hell this cam is not spinning. I could pull the valve cover off while the motor's in the car, but that sounds like more of a hassle than it's worth. So I'm opting to just yank this motor back out. Very suspect. It did not feel like that. From what I remember when this thing went back together, I think I would have noticed that. And I'm hoping that the cam journals are fine on the head, because these are dual AVCS heads, of course, and they're not very cheap. So yeah, let's do the thing and yank her back out. This is the very first time It's actually crazy. I was thinking about it last night. I've ever had a failure right off the bat on a brand new car, brand new motor, brand new setup. And it just so happens that this thing's 100% stock, not a single mod. So something is going on with this journal here. When I tighten those bolts, the cam binds up, everything else is tight, and it's still spinning fine right now. So what I'm gonna do is a quick leak down. There's about a 2% chance, in my opinion, that it did not completely bend the valves, but in the rare instance it did not, I would rather not pull the head, and I'd rather just fix this cam issue. So let's go ahead and do a quick leak down while it's on the lift and see what we find. Apparently good karma is on my side today because miraculously there's no bent valves. I do not know how that's possible, seeing how freaking loud it was, and it literally locked up to where it shut off. But we don't have any bent valves, so I'm gonna not pull the head. Hopefully I don't regret this. But technically speaking, if we have no bent valves, there's no reason to pull the head and do all that BS. Now let's figure out why this cam is sticky. Well guys, I pulled it all apart, got everything cleaned up and re-lubed the cam. And as you can see now, she spins nice and freely, just like the exhaust cam. So there's something, maybe a little piece of dirt or something in there. But yeah, I think that that should fix our problem. If we would have ran this thing for a long time, if it would have stayed running, I'm sure it would have destroyed the head. That little piece of dirt or whatever the gunk was that was causing the cam to jam up, maybe a piece of RTV or something. Whatever that was, probably would have destroyed the head and the cam and all the cam journals and whatnot, but I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and slap it back together and get the motor back in the damn car. Well, I guess I'm not entirely confident in this car right now. I'm worried that the valves are bent even though we did a leak down. I guess we'll see there. And then I'm also worried that the same freaking thing's gonna happen again. So yeah, like I said, not too confident in this engine, but let's fire it up and see what happens. With the crank sensor unplugged, it sounds perfect. Let's plug it in and fire it up. Well, you guys heard it. My gut feeling was right. This bitch has got to come back out. And even though it leaked down, apparently it leaked down just fine. We have some damage in the head. I should have listened to my gut feeling, but whatever. You live and you learn. I'm annoyed. So we'll take care of this tomorrow. And the plot thickens. Hello guys, it is the next morning. Just got the motor back out of the car. Got the intake manifold off. I pulled the timing belt cover off and our timing belt is loose. Our timing belt tensioner has failed on us. So this is most likely the noise we were hearing, is this guy flopping back and forth. We should not be able to do that. And of course the belt should not be that loose. Look how loose that thing is. So I could do what I've already done and not do what yeah, this is very, very loose. Look at this. That could have been bad. I'm very confident actually the noise that we were hearing was this flopping back and forth. Could probably just throw a new belt tensioner back on it and be good to go, but I'm just gonna pull this head off. Make sure everything is good with the head. I know I'm not gonna regret it even if nothing is wrong with the head. Definitely regret it if there is something going on with the head. So cool, let's pop the head off. We got to get another new one of these and hopefully we can get this thing back in the car today. It's very, very early in the morning right now and I just want to get this thing done and out of my life. All of the valves are in perfect condition. Nothing hit nothing. Piston showed no sign of contact. So we would have been fine with just a new tensioner, but I'm glad we pulled it off. I'm still gonna bring the head in and have it gone through at the head shop just to make sure it's perfect and we don't have any more problems. We have had this thing out 3 times now. I'm definitely not trying to do it again. I'm honestly very happy that the tensioner failed right now. Imagine if we were revving this thing out to 7,200 RPM and this thing failed. It would have taken out a lot of parts. You wanna know what else revs to 7,200 RPM? The beard hedger from Manscaped. Today's video is sponsored by Manscaped. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of their trimmers. And finally, Manscaped is launching a beard trimming and styling routine. Let's face it, what is the point of trimming the boys if your facial hair is making a bad first impression? Whether you prefer a 5 o'clock shadow or a lion's mane, you can choose from 20 different cutting lengths. My favorite part, the beard hedger is waterproof, so it can be used in the shower as well. And with the beard hedger pro kit, you get all of these different goodies. Beard oil, beard conditioner, beard balm, beard shampoo, and some brushes. This thing is the cleanest, easiest, most simple beard trimmer I have ever used. So I would recommend joining me today, taking your old crusty beard trimmer, tossing it in the garbage, and picking up the new beard hedger from Manscaped. Simply go to www.manscaped.com and get 20% off and free international shipping with my code DN20. Join myself and over 7 million other men who trust Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring today's video. Always a pleasure working with you guys. Now let's get back to the shop, back to work on this freaking Subaru. Just got the head back from the machine shop, so let's go ahead and get that thing slopped back on the motor, make sure everything's good to go. We have a whole new timing kit again that's going on this engine. She's gonna go back in the car and we're gonna have no more problems. All right, one last check that the cams actually spin. There's the one we were having initial issues with. Spins beautiful. And then here's the exhaust side. Cool. Let's get this thing buttoned up and back in the car. This car just hates its life. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but it sounds like the same noise as last time, but we put a new tensioner on it. So I'm gonna pull a timing cover real quick and see if for some odd reason our timing belt is flopping around, which would be weird. I feel dumb right now because I'm having so many issues with this car, which is crazy because I feel like I've done 1,000 of these Subarus at this point. Well, Brandon, what's up?
Was this number 4?
It is, dude. Oh my gosh. So I just talked to Josh on the phone and he says it's still a bent valve, but he thinks it's, even though the noise is coming from the driver's side, they've had instances where there's a bent valve on the passenger side, but for some reason the sound travels to the driver's side. And even though I leaked down tested this, the passenger side of this engine when it was out this morning and it tested fine, Bader's convinced it's a bent valve on the passenger side. So, yeah, number 4 it is. Motor's coming back out. We got Brandon here right now. He's got a dyno tune in the morning on that thing. He's going for 10,000 wheel.
10,000 wheel. Bust.
Yeah.
800.
It'll make 800. It's a 6.4 setup. It'll make 800. The stupid thing is I leave to Arizona at 4 in the morning. So yeah, Brandon's over here convinced me to pull the motor again. And then what my plan is pull the motor, get the heads off, and then I'll have one of the guys drop the heads off tomorrow. And hopefully by the time I get back from Arizona, they'll be done and gone through, and the head shop can figure out what the hell is going on. Okay, head number 1, where the noise is coming from. Let's see if it's sus. She looks titties. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, that's not a problem. Gosh damn it. I don't have another drink again.
What about that AutoZone bucket?
Where's that pen at? That's a problem. It's in my pocket. All right, my friends. If there ain't something wrong, I'm burning this car to the ground. All the valves are bent.
Hopefully.
There we go. Bro, it literally looks perfect. Let's take a closer look. Usually you'd see like a shiny edge. Well, I guess I'll do the brake clean test. Those ones don't appear to be leaking. What the fuck? Bro, what is wrong with this motor? I think, okay, come here guys, check this out. This is where pretty much all the noise is coming from. Look at how much oil is in the cylinder. And I don't think it's a short block issue because this is a brand new block, or short block from Subaru. The only thing I can think of is that noise is like an exhaust valve guide or one of the valve guides just rattling around. And the oil is from the valve stem seal. It's my assumption.
Sus.
Sus. Bro, fuck this car. Would you like to buy it for $5?
Deal.
Yeah, that's a lot of oil. Something's going on. So guys, here is where we are at. I didn't find a single problem in either of the heads. I checked the valve lash on both heads on all of the valves. I don't see anything out of the ordinary there. The only thing I see out of the ordinary on the whole setup, which is very, very suspect, is all of the oil pooling up in cylinder number 4. And that is, I believe, where all the noise is coming from. So here's the current plan. I'm gonna have these heads brought back to the machine shop. They're gonna re-go through them. The only thing I can think that noise is right now is a loose valve guide. And so if they don't find anything wrong with the heads, we're gonna have to tear into the short block. Granted, it is a brand new block. I highly doubt anything's wrong with it, but we gotta figure out that because that is not okay. Of course, I'm more concerned with the noise, but now the oil in the cylinder is also very suspect. So that is another concern with this setup. Keep in mind, I have not touched the short block. It is a brand new OEM from Subaru short block. So if something's wrong there, then it's not my deal because I didn't build it. That is gonna be it for today. I'm not gonna film anything else on this car until it's just done and ready. I'm sure you guys are super, super sick of the freaking problems because I know I am. And yeah, hopefully we can get it sorted out soon. I hope the head shop just says, yo, you have a loose valve guide and that's your problem. Remember, the newest Boston Apparel drop goes live tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST. A bunch of new products dropping. And by the way, if you want a free windshield banner. We finally got some windshield banners in stock, so we're gonna be giving some of those out. Stay tuned on the Boston Apparel Instagram page. We have shirts, we have hoodies, we have these jackets coming out, and we have the windshield banners, and we have prints as well, all sorts of good stuff, and air fresheners and jet tags. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. PST, the website is only live for 24 hours, then it gets shut down. All right, good night, my friends. I'll see you boys in Arizona.